Welcome everyone to Assetto Corsa. In today's video I'm not actually driving, I am just going to be talking over what is my new personal best in the Toyota GT86 around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. This is my most driven combination, this car around this track, although I do drive some combinations like GT86 and Akina or Praga around Laguna Seca. So while we're getting to the first corners, I want to talk about a couple of things. First one being, why am I driving around the tourist version? And that is because this version times your laps from under the bridge to some point at the end of the lap before the long straight, whereas the hot lap or the normal version counts your laps differently, and it doesn't have a specific start point, so it just adds time while you're sitting in the menu, which is kind of stupid, but yeah, that's why I use this one. Going through the first corners, you can see that although it does say ABS and TC at the bottom, neither ABS nor traction control are actually active. Traction control isn't really a big deal. I've learned to correct slides, especially in a relatively boring car such as the 86, but ABS is a new thing that I'm trying out, or the lack of it actually. I'm learning to regulate my brakes a lot better, and you will see at the end I've put a little clip of my braking with and my braking without ABS, how different it is. And without ABS I put a lot more thought into why I'm braking, where I'm braking, and how much speed I'm actually carrying through the corner. This corner, I'm honestly not really sure what the proper line is, so I just drifted, maybe losing some time, but it doesn't matter because most of the time is lost on these long ass streets. That is a limitation of the GT86, that it is painfully slow compared to something like a Huracan or a GT3 RS, which this track is kind of built for, I think. This car really struggles with hills. Having maybe 20-30 more horsepower would really fix that. You may have also noticed that I have three different views on here. One is inside the car, where you can see the pedals, the wheel, the speed, the gear, the RPM. One is outside the car, that is kind of a static shots, camera views, and one is follow camera. Not that it really has a purpose. Maybe you can see what the car is doing, that I feel in the wheel you might not be able to tell from the inside. Even though I did drive this part pretty good, these corners are still kind of problematic for me. I sometimes do well, I sometimes do kind of shit, and drifting on the exit because I messed up my line anyways. I don't know, all of these time saves would probably add up to like 5 seconds at the end of the whole lap, because this is a longest track. It's not like Trent Madonna is a fucking 15-minute track. It's not like Brands Hatch. Going a little bit wide here, but that's not the biggest problem. This corner entry is still confusing me. I set up a drift, and I don't know why. That's how you set up a drift. Right, left, right, brake and throttle to put the car off balance. Genuinely no idea. I probably remembered midway through it that, oh, I'm trying to set a good time. I made up for it by a clean long section here, going into this, not really hairpin, but messing it up completely anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Every time I jump onto a curb, that means I have to regulate my throttle instead of just being flat out, which is not good for business. Not using ABS is actually really helping me towards understanding how to carry momentum properly through a corner, because before I just drove on intuition. Basically, I see a corner, I brake or I don't brake, and I kind of make it through to the other side. Whereas now I actually have to try and delay my braking point properly, whilst not braking too much, not braking too little, trying not to lock the wheels, trying not to fly out the other side, which is really easy to do in this corner specifically, because I sometimes miss the apex and I shoot through the curb, losing traction on the right side and straight into the wall. On the other long gas straight, why do I drive the GT86? It is slow, it is painfully, dreadfully slow, but it's also really fun. It's really easy to drive, it's forgiving. Something like a GT3 RS is stable until you hit the slightest patch of grass, and if you can't catch it, it's kinda game over. So I prefer this nice chill experience of the GT86. Going into the carousel, fucking up my line a little bit, or having the engine a little bit, not a big deal. I could have gone faster. I think it's really easy to say now, oh, I could have gone faster. It's a lot more difficult when you're driving and you're concentrating, trying to not crash at the same time. Yeah. I also lose a lot of speed at that corner. Whenever I'm chasing someone, they usually gap me there. I still yet to figure out this part of the track. And the track after carousel in my head is the second half, even though I don't know if that's technically 50% of the track, because I drove a lot more on the first section, the first half, and I remember that a lot better than I do this side. Fucking up this part royally, almost spinning out, or not spinning, sliding out. And you can see from there on, I'm really careful. No more bullshit, no more curbs. We are really taking it slow, paying attention, and probably losing a lot of time. But hey. Braking a bit early here, making this corner just fine, but then the next one far too slow. I could have gone a lot faster. And this third to last corner also could have gone a lot faster, but I was afraid of jumping out of that bank and flying away, like I almost did here. I wouldn't have forgiven myself for a month if I had messed up the second to last corner on personal best time. Speaking of which, that is 8:31.697, beating my previous personal best by a whole 2 seconds. And that personal best was actually following Maria on Alpha 4C, where she was just kind of showing me the line around. Or to be more precise, I was looking at her line and trying to copy it. At the end here you can see a comparison between braking with ABS and without ABS, and how much more speed I actually carried through the same section. That's about it now. More stuff coming. Adios.